Hi, this is our...
Let's turn off the AC.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
What's like a fancy name for second? Because penultimate is second to last. Fancy word.
Sophomore.
Yes. Good work.
There you go.
Hi, everybody. This is the sophomore episode of the Guaranteed Audio Podcast, which we will hopefully have hosted through some RSS feed by the time you hear this.
RSS stands for... No, I don't
really
know.
super sounding...
Yeah.
We got
That's all three letters.
Here we are. I am Kevin James, one of the three founding fathers of Guaranteed Video. I'm joined by Ryan Murphy.
Hello.
And Neil Ciceriga.
That's me.
We sound so measured and rehearsed. Here we are to talk about the things we normally would talk about, only into microphones, so we can justify this time a bit better. I'm glad we were able to find time to do this August, because August in Boston is incredibly taxing on people. I mean, on top of the moving epidemic that happens at the end of every August, you know, there's a lot of colleges in Boston. Our infrastructure isn't great here in terms of driving. You know, the traffic is...
Thank God we're not getting the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
What a load of crap. Nobody likes... It's literally never helped a city ever. Ever.
We have, on top of that...
Look it up, everybody.
We've got... Neil just moved, right?
I did, yeah. Just like the other day.
Yeah, how's that been going?
Good. Just living out of boxes, living amongst boxes. Our old apartment was... it was nice, but, you know, very apartment. And I feel like... percentage point more grown up now.
How long were you there for?
We were living in our last apartment for, I think, since 2011, so 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Neil's new place is so new. I haven't seen it yet. It was what? It was a week ago? Not even?
Less. I've slept there 3 times, I think.
Okay, there we go.
Nice.
So have you officially had your last night in the old place? That must be kind of sad.
Let's put on some Bare Naked Ladies.
I do keep thinking of that song.
It's a good song.
Yeah. 1 week. No, the other one.
Pinch me.
Yeah. No, that's been fun. It's our last night was a lot of packing, and then we passed out from exhaustion. So
yeah,
it wasn't very sentimental.
Did you ditch much stuff?
There's still stuff. We're gonna go over there today because I think we're thinking of dressing up. I still have the apartment for the rest of the month, so we're gonna dress it up as maybe a restaurant if we can get away with that for a short film we're working on.
Maybe the chairs we bought today for the podcast could have. Oh, well, either way,
yeah. Oh, other big news: we bought 2 chairs for this podcast. Because last time we recorded,
we weren't happy.
We were on a beanbag chair in like the corner of a bed, just to get around the table.
I spent hours going through and cleaning up that podcast, and hopefully we won't have to do that this time.
We're all sitting at the same table, same distance from the mic right now.
Real adult podcasters. Can't quite see Neil because there's a computer monitor in between us, but I'm sure he's over there. Ryan, how's your August going? You've got some other stuff, right?
Well, my brother's getting married at the end of the month, so it's been all hands on deck for that. The place where I work has a big summer program, and that's wrapping itself up this week.
Yeah.
On a regular shift, I do overnight shifts. I'm done by 9 a.m. and my meeting is back again at noon. I'm 21 out of 24 hours a day on call, and I'm not on call. That's like I'm at a fire station and I show up if there's a fire.
Yeah.
I'm at work 21 out of 24 hours a day. Man. And my days off, I do everything I can to get out of Dodge, cross the bridge, and come on up to Somerville. But the summers are long and it's tough.
Yeah, August in particular, it's a busy time of year in Boston, not just because of moving, but because the academic year in general affects work. A lot of people are like changing jobs or applying for jobs. I know quite a few people changing where they work right now. So it's a stressful month.
Yeah, for those of you listening who don't live in Boston or don't know the greater Boston area, we are absolutely, like Kevin said, we are a college town.
Yeah.
And the population of the city, it gets a little bigger every year.
Yeah. So I've been working on my documentary, Not for Resale. I just booked flights to North Carolina in a few weeks and then San Diego in September. Been getting questions together, locking up interviews. I'm going to be talking with the game developers behind Rocket League, a company called Psyonix Games. I'm really excited about that.
That's awesome.
For anyone who knows Rocket League, it's a great game. Anyone who doesn't know Rocket League, it's basically playing soccer with cars. Fantastic game. But yeah, that's been my month. I'm prepping to move as well. gonna be working on a few feature-length movies, just doing editorial work on set, DIT work. So, but yeah, that's not exciting to talk about. But yeah, our lives are dense with activity, and we're making movies. So should we move on to current media?
Current media.
We can rename it. Just
one of these days.
Media current, like electrical current.
Ooh, yeah? Media current. I like that. Yeah. That's good. Okay.
We're gonna put a little electricity sound effect. Yeah. I sure hope some Rush Limbaugh jerk doesn't already have that.
Media
I'm sure if we looked it up.
One word with a capital M and a capital C.
Might have to be current with a K.
Or like
I don't want to do that.
Or like current, like those little berries.
So let's I don't know, anyone been reading anything, watching anything, playing anything good? No.
I've been very busy with the move. We're without a TV right now, so I haven't been doing any of that. Last thing I did, I got pulled away to go see a movie at the Brattle, a movie from the 70s called Friends of Eddie Coyle. Have either of you heard of it?
No.
I hadn't heard of it either. It's a 70s crime drama with good old Robert Mitchum.
Someone with a giant gorilla on the island they have to catch?
No. The significant thing about it is, it is shot and set around Boston, south of Boston.
Oh, cool.
And it hops around into fascinating, glamorous places like Sharon and Dorchester and Quincy and...
Oh, they got Quincy.
Oh, yeah. They got the Quincy T-stop, which was the terminus back then. It's totally worth watching if you're from Boston, just to see these places.
Oh, I'd love to see
that.
And
it's all like parking lots and stuff too, and like train stops. And it's like that's totally the theme of the movie. It's all about petty criminals, not high level. The most tense stuff in the movie is like a couple of bank robberies.
Yeah.
Everything else is just kind of like schlepping around.
Kind of like The Driver.
It's less. It's like even more toned down from the Driver. It gets compared a lot to like Glengarry Glen Ross because it's about an aging guy who kind of fucks up at the end of his career. Can I say fuck?
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, it's totally worth a watch in the way that any like cool 70s drama. Also, some really good funk music shows up in it.
Cool. Nice.
But it's like inappropriate funk music because like nothing in the movie is that exciting.
Ryan, how about you?
Actually, just last week, I watched Star Trek Beyond just got put on Hulu this month. Or maybe the end of last month.
The third movie in the Chris Pine trilogy.
Of the
hopefully to be more.
The classic the classic cast or the classic characters with the new cast.
Yeah.
And I really liked I watched Star Trek Beyond and then 24 hours later I watched Star Trek First Contact.
That's the last thing I watched on my old TV was also
Star Trek First Contact?
Yes.
Or all of them?
Just Star Trek First Contact.
Is that the one with Tom Hardy?
No, it's the one with
Nemesis.
Okay. It's the one, what's his name? James Cromwell.
That'll do. Yep, James Cromwell. That'll
James
do.
Cromwell.
He is the first.
We're all nodding.
His name is not Zac Efron.
It's Zephron Cochrane.
Zephron Cochrane. That's it. Zac Efron Cochrane.
Wait a minute.
That's right. The first human, the first Earthling to create a warp drive I was actually just giving himself like Zac Efron Cochrane. The Borg go back in time to colonize Earth from the past. The next gen Enterprise crew has to go back in time to follow them.
That's so much time
Data
travel.
has a weird sexual engagement with the Hive. The first time we meet a Borg queen, they're
basically the two characters who shouldn't have any reason to have sex.
As close to sex as they can.
What is the batting average with Star Trek movies and time travel? Like
there is a lot of time.
There's
travel.
a lot of time travel.
Yeah, and they're really they never really hammer down the mechanics of time travel.
It's like there's like more time travel in Star Trek movies than there's like blue lightning coming out of Sydney's in Marvel movies. Like there's just like it's like every other movie. I didn't realize that had time travel in it too, right? Because I mean, I don't want to go through.
It's a great, Spock brings the hippies back to San Francisco to save the whales. I mean, that's
you could go
to San Francisco to save the whales. That's his.
What's interesting about this one is they travel back in time, but it's to the future relative to us, the viewers.
It's after World War III in their universe.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Earth is vulnerable, and it's
it's kind of in Montana. On Star Trek, they're always talking about the 20th century.
It's terrible,
and it's kind of like, well, what happened between now and then?
Yeah.
So they kind of cover that ground a little. Which is interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Cool. What'd you think of Beyond? Had you seen it before?
Oh yeah, I'd seen it. I saw it in the theaters. I love the new I love the current run of Star Trek. I wasn't crazy about Wrath of Khan, and it's Star Trek Darkness is just Wrath of Khan, guys. Let's just call it Wrath of Khan.
Mm-hmm. I didn't
Into Darkness or I don't even remember.
I saw Star Trek Into Darkness alone. It was like I've only been to the movies alone twice in my life. Once was to see The Witch, and once was to see that. Yeah, The Witch was great. I wanted to be scared.
I saw Lincoln alone. That was sad.
I saw Persepolis alone when I was like a teenager. Oh, yeah. My family just had no interest.
Well, with Into Darkness, I didn't realize why everyone hated it so much at first. I'm like, I thought it was fine. Like, I love this cast. I thought the story was fine. The villain was good. Then I watched Wrath of Khan, and I get it. Like, yeah. Hollywood needs to stop doing this. So we really need to move on. Like,
and it's the same phenomenon. I know I'm not alone. We've discussed this, but for as long as we're recording it, I was Cumberbatched out before I saw it.
Yeah,
and that's
Cumberbatch out.
Cumberbatch out. Zap. I felt like, especially The Hobbit with Bilbo and Smaug being Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
And then that was like the last time when Doctor Strange came out, and I just saw the 4th season of Sherlock.
Yeah.
To go, didn't I just see Benedict Cumberbatch?
He was getting a lot of exposure.
He was very overexposed quickly, and that's the other thing. It wasn't that quickly. It was when I said to myself, I just saw Benedict Cumberbatch. Like, no, Ryan, that was 3 years ago.
And they're all very high profile, super expensive things at this point.
He played Alan Turing in that movie that I unfortunately didn't see yet, but I will.
Julian Assange, don't forget.
Oh God, I did forget. Thank you for that.
So with Beyond, would you say Beyond, is it your favorite of the 3?
No, the first one I really liked.
First one's really fresh.
Beyond was my favorite of the 3.
Yeah,
really.
I'm in between 1 and 3. I the first one has the highest highs for me.
Yeah, the first one is like a totally fun adventure. 3, I think, is the only one to kind of nail the optimism.
Yes.
Of Star Trek.
It's got a lot of bones in it too.
Yeah.
Which is kind of its best strength.
Yes. I was trying to think like structural. Yeah, no. Like the character bones.
Some characters get the short end of the stick in 3, but
yeah, but they do a pretty good job of balancing it and pairing people off. I liked what they did with it.
Rewatching Star Trek First Contact, some of the sets on that one are really bad. When the Borg start to assimilate the Enterprise from the inside out, that on paper, in a script form, I would go like, oh, fuck yeah, this can be great. And then you see it, and a lot of it's really hokey.
Are any of the Next Generation movies good?
First Contact. That's kind of it.
It's probably the best one, yeah.
Actually, I will say there were some pretty good. There were probably still models at that point, but there were some pretty good looking effects in outer space.
Is that 97, 98? Like,
yeah. All right. The first one was Star Trek Generations to symbiotically
Shatner and everybody.
Yeah, with Malcolm McDowell is in the Nexus, and they have to kill off Shatner so that they literally shake hands of one to the next generation. For those of you who just were never feeling Next Generation, I'm sorry, guys, but we're done. We're done. It's time to move on. Which, for those of you who never liked the Next Generation, you probably didn't like Deep Space Nine. You probably didn't like Voyager, where they're always fucking lost, which is ridiculous when they have a warp drive. And you probably did. You know what? You got your cake and you eat it too, because Leonard Nimoy, God bless him, got to come back two more times.
Yeah.
And almost posthumously in this third one. I thought they did a really classy, a really heartfelt job of sending him off in Star Trek Beyond.
That's kind of what put it over for me.
Yeah, was that although Leonard Nimoy did in fact pass away, he hands off young Spock, almost said Skyler, Siler from Heroes, the actor who's a great. I really like that guy. He hands off the photo from
We're just going to ruin this whole movie. Movies. I just want to ruin this whole movie because I want to talk about how much I like Beyond. You're reminding me to watch it now again. I've only seen it once, so I keep going.
It was just so weird to rewatch 2 radically different Star Trek movies.
Yeah.
Enough about Star Trek. Let us
okay.
Know.
I did really like the outro of Beyond when the whole crew says the Star Trek mantra. Starts, Kirk when he explained. That was the voyages. That was great. That really clean way of leaving you on a high note, to have everyone come in and say their bit. I recently decided to watch the Harry Potter movies. Which,
that's right.
Yeah, I'm sure I have a funny feeling that people who listen to this podcast are Harry Potter fans. I read the first book when I was 13 and it did nothing for me. I've never been. that into high fantasy. I'm not a Tolkien guy. I get it. I respect it. I think it's well written, his stuff. And I get why Game of Thrones is popular. And I absolutely get Harry Potter. But on a personal level, it just didn't connect with me. Because, I was 13. I was in school. Escaping into school didn't do a lot for me. But that being said, I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth. I loved Final Fantasy VIII. I like the Persona games and stuff like that. I do like the whole magic with, magic school days, upbringing stuff. Like I get that. But the first book, when I read it, I didn't find it that involving or fascinating. So I didn't really keep up with the franchise.
First one, yeah, it's a little hokey at the start.
So I decided, I really want to see these. I feel like I've missed out on something. So I told myself I'm going to watch the first two back to back, like one night after the other. I borrowed Neil's Blu-rays. I put them in my big old TV, my Samsung, and I decided if I liked them, I would read the whole series because I want to read the books before I watch the movies. But everything I've heard from people I trust, including you two, is the leap in writing from 2 to 3 is like noteworthy.
And direction.
Yeah. Christopher Columbus leaves, right? Like he doesn't do 3. So when's the last time either of you guys watched the first 2 Harry Potter movies?
Oh, too long ago.
Yeah, years ago.
So I went in, I'm glad everyone lowered my expectations for one. Ming said it very well. She goes, it's a movie for babies. Just don't be fair. Like she was like, be fair. I liked it. I thought, I actually tweeted, I put my foot in my mouth. I tweeted like, man, like this movie looks great. Like the effects are very conservative. Everything's really happening. Look at this. There's a lack of CG. And then a bunch of people tweeted at me, oh, just wait till Quidditch. Just wait till then the Play-Doh people happen. The troll scene in the bathroom is really bad. $130 million movie in 2001.
That is like the most 2001 thing though, to watch a movie from that era. You're going to be very impressed with certain special effects.
But the practical effects.
Yeah, practical
effects.
It's
like the first Spider-Man movie. Like there's some stuff you're like, wow, I can't believe they actually built this. And then it cuts to Spider-Man web slinging and you're like, that looks terrible. And honestly, about Spider-Man 1, I remember seeing Spider-Man 1 when I was 13, 14 in theaters. I thought it looked bad then. And I was excited to see that movie. 2 is a different story. Spider-Man 2.
Sam Raimi with Danny Elfman's music is exciting.
It's just too ambitious with the CG. Spider-Man's always going to look weird by virtue of what he can do. Harry Potter, same thing, right? But anyways, I thought the cast was really good. I thought Radcliffe for like how old was he, 11 or something?
Yeah,
he was given. It's a really hard role for 11-year-old. Like, okay, we need you to be as amiable and likable as possible, but you can't have too much character because kids have to imagine themselves. I know I'm being very technical and reductive, but this is the reality of the character.
All chips on black. We are betting on number 1. You cannot recast Harry Potter.
You need to be a good actor 10 years from now.
Yes. And you have to be, again,
and you can't be too angry.
Spoiler alert, he does become a real professional actor.
You could tell.
I like him.
I was able to get through that first movie without getting bored, and it was like 2.5 hours.
And like we talked about, like we were talking about last week, like I've talked about with my family many times.
Like the ending a lot.
This design for Hogwarts, the design for the train, the design for this universe. Like we are going to be betting it all on this. You cannot have Hogwarts look radically different in the 4th movie. It's got to be the same, and we have to expand and grow from this point.
Or we're going to have to spend a ton of money,
right?
Like going back and rebuilding and recasting it.
Platform 9 3/4 needs to look this cool, and you're going to have to use this a couple of. It's your new Tatooine. You don't get to change radically what Tatooine looks like someday.
But I will say, in the later movies, the way they are shot changes a lot.
Definitely. From 1 to 2, it's like night and day too. Like the second movie looks drastically better. I mean, drastically better.
And they're real fucking lucky that Hogwarts is a magical place and literally can change.
It can literally change.
You need a map to change.
The cast got me through it. John Williams' music got me through it because I know this might be heresy. I don't think the first story. The second story too, I don't think it's that good. I think the foundation's good. I think the world building's good. I think the relationships are awesome. Like the peripheral storytelling, everything that's supposed to be important feels important. The things that they're not really allowed to talk about, it doesn't feel like carrot on the end of the stick. Oh, we'll get to that later. Like in other crappy movie franchises, like other movie universes. But I will say this: like a big problem I have with like high fantasy that's in both of the 2 movies I've seen so far, and I am reading the first book right now. I'm gonna get through it probably by the end of tomorrow. Is there's a lot of oh, by the way, Harry, like after something happens, like,
Yeah.
oh, you know how you almost died and then that like thing popped up? That was this. Like, okay, that's crap. Like, don't like that happened in both movies. Like, oh, by the way, this sword will come out of this hat. Wait.
Yeah.
Why did that happen? Oh,
Harry
by the
actually
way,
becomes
Harry.
very aware of that plot point later in the books and gets
Yes.
really pissed off at people for not telling him anything.
Yeah, like that's like, but it is bad writing.
It is.
It is
kinda,
like
yeah.
addressing it later and being self-aware is funny, but there is like that's very common in my experience with high fantasy. Like I don't understand these rules.
They explain to you what the ring is. They explain to you what mithril is. They explain to you this sword. Your sword will glow blue when bad things are around.
Yeah.
When your sword glows blue, something bad is coming.
Which is why, like, I'm always. I mean, I'm sure it is difficult to set up. Like, what was the thing? The Sorcerer's Stone, right? Like I like the idea of like Voldemort. I mean, spoilers being in the back of that guy's head. That was legitimately creepy. I remember out loud going. Yeah. Out loud, like leaning towards my TV going, cool. Like this is, they don't test kids in Hollywood anymore. And this is like 16 years ago and that looked scary to me.
It was good. They did a good job.
The dragon in the second movie was scary and Harry stabs the damn thing through its brain, man. Like it's not just Harry Potter remembers a Bible verse. The dragon goes away.
How to Kill a Basilisk by
Thou shalt not. But there's how did Harry defeat the guy? There's the stone, right? In the mirror. Yeah, how does he get the damn stone out of the mirror? Like that. And my girlfriend Hillary explained to me there's stuff missing from the movies, right? A 2.5 hour movie based off
I don't even remember the mechanics of the mirror. It's like, magic. They hid the stone in the mirror.
The thing is, like, the book is like 230 pages, right? And the movie's 2.5 hours, right? Come on. Like, there's like stuff you could have explained this. Hillary had to explain to me Hagrid's disgrace from Hogwarts. We literally paused the movie right before he got brought back from Azkaban. That's the name of the prison, right?
Yep, Azkaban.
Azkaban. When he comes back in. And had she not explained it to me, I would have had no real reaction to like, why are these kids like, yay, Hagrid's back? Like, and she's like, well, you got to piece it together because they cut out material from the movie where it's like, no, this guy's had a glass ceiling over him because of this like weird accusation that wasn't true and all this stuff. So her gonna come back like that amplified the movie. But from what I understand, like, or so if I liked the first two movies, I like two more than one. I'm in for a good time.
Yes,
right?
I think so.
Yeah.
My favorites are I think 3 and 4. I really like 3. I like the Prisoner.
I'm really excited for Gary.
I like Gary Oldman as Sirius Black.
3 is totally weird and fun. Yeah. 4 is kind of when
I love
they
Kenneth
start.
Branagh, so I didn't know he was in too. I'm like, ooh, he's in this.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then I think 4 is a little more serious, but it's I
actually have seen 4.
Yeah, you have seen 4.
The Triwizard Tournament with the beginning of who the actor played Edward Cullen. That's his big start.
Robert Pattinson.
Thank you, Pattinson.
I remember him being good in that. Yeah.
I will say for stories about adolescents, for stories about kids in a boarding, they're kids, they're high schoolers, they're in a boarding school. The 5th one has Wizard Margaret Thatcher. There's this. She is written like the kind of villain from young adult literature, children's literature. You're gonna love hating her.
Sure.
In a lot of ways, the 5th one feels a little bit more like the first 2.
Yes,
because she's like kind of a cartoon. She wears a lot of colors and stuff.
Yeah.
And then the 6th one is not my favorite movie, but it's my favorite looking out of all of them.
Yeah.
Because they got double the budget for that movie, and it did not need it. There's no big monsters in the 6th one or anything. There's no big set pieces.
Did like a new director come on for that one?
I think it
does look better.
It's the same director as the last 3 or 4 movies.
Oh wait, how many directors did them? Christopher Columbus and then who?
Okay, so Christopher Columbus did 2.
We could do 2 hours on this. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Kevin watches Harry Potter. It could be a podcast. Sorry.
Neil and Ryan explain Harry Potter to Kevin.
Wait a minute. Magic?
It doesn't matter. I don't know the exact number.
Is he an alien? No,
I know at least the last 3 were all directed by the same guy.
Sure.
But anyway, number 6 is beautiful looking. That's what they put the money into, was just making it look good.
Cool.
I like that by that point they treat Harry like he's a young adult. They've taken off the kiddie gloves.
We should edit back in that Bruce Springsteen demo tape song that he made for the first movie, right?
What?
That's never been released, right?
No.
Bruce Springsteen, it got out finally. Bruce Springsteen was asked to do a song for the movie. Speaking of which, the John Williams music's great. But it is like from the phase of John Williams' career where you're like, yeah, he's already done like 20 iconic scores. There are just scenes like this feels like Jurassic Park. Like when the kids are coming up to the island in the water, it can't help but feel like Jurassic Park. There's straight up some Superman in it, some E.T.
A lot of Hook.
But what can he do? He's how many original pieces because without him changing instruments, and they're hiring John Williams.
It's funny, even going back to Jaws, which I watched over July.
There's Harry Potter in it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of Harry Potter in Jaws.
Yeah,
it's just his,
back in the 70s.
There's a little bit of Jaws.
Back in the 70s, he was putting everything on the table, man. Like the Superman theme you pointed out once has like 3 themes in it. And they're all really good.
Yeah.
So like, but nowadays you'd be like, no, hold back.
Did John Williams do anything for Westworld? I'm picturing the main theme in my head right. I feel like maybe he did the main theme.
The new show or the old movie?
The new show.
I don't know. I think Hans Zimmer might have. I don't know. Maybe I'm just saying that because one of the Nolans.
Yeah, I bet it was Zimmer or a Zimmer underling because the Nolans
did the show.
Oh, that's right.
Anyway,
but yes, there was Bruce Springsteen did a song, and there's like a demo that got out there. It's like "I'll Be With You Always" or something like that. He's in a few movie songs, and they're all really good. Like the one he did for The Wrestler, I remember being like, whatever. Like this is basically this song he did called The Boxer 3 years earlier, and he's like, yeah, sure, and it's a really good song.
He has a great song for Philadelphia.
Jerry
Neil Young
Maguire
does the saddest song in the world.
Oh my god, Philadelphia is so good.
It's really good.
Have you seen Philadelphia?
I've never seen it.
Oh, you're missing out.
All right, well, we got to move on, right? Okay, so I'm watching Harry Potter. So now we're going to move on to our quiz for the episode.
Yes, Neil has prepared a quiz for us.
So last time we did the Good Burger 20th anniversary quiz.
Yes. This month, August 2017, is special because 2 of the people in this room are turning 31.
True.
That's me. Not the 2 contestants, but it's me and it's you, Ryan.
That's correct. I'm both turning August 15th.
And I'm August 23rd. So I thought to commemorate our birthdays, I would do a quiz centered around movies that came out in the month of our birth, August 1986.
Oh, look at that.
So in front of you both is a list of movies that came out in 1986. 8 of them came out in August of 1986, and the rest are just from other months and won't be relevant to the quiz.
All 1986 or just
these are all 1986 movies.
Jesus,
May I say something for those of you who may be listening at home? For all of you listening are listening at home. And one of you listening may in fact be a young man named Max Pacheco, because the film Back to School, starring Rodney Dangerfield, is on the list, Max. Back to School.
I've watched most of that movie through YouTube clips.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Anyway, let me try and concisely explain the rules. It's way simpler than you're thinking. I'm going to read to each of you, we're going to take turns, 8 movie quotes, and you basically have to guess which of those movies on the list that quote comes from.
Okay.
The quotes themselves will all come from the movies that came out in August, and the other movies won't be quoted at all. Actually, for starters, why don't we have you guys read the list of movies that I prepared, alternating, starting with Kevin.
Labyrinth.
The Great Mouse Detective.
Transformers the movie.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Howard the Duck.
Jason Lives, Friday the 13th, Part 6.
Stand By Me.
Police Academy 3, Back in Training.
So far, I've been reading the really good movies on this. The Fly.
Flight of the Navigator.
Okay, now I'm breaking that trend. Crocodile Dundee.
Back to School.
Care Bears Movie 2, A New Generation. Not the Care Bears. There's no article in that.
Oh, Manhunter.
That's a good one. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Soul Man.
See Thomas Howell?
Hang on. Is Soul Man
yes,
it's the racist one.
Oh, no. Yeah. Were the kid affirmative action?
They were like, well, it worked for Tootsie. Let's just...
Oh, man.
Anyway, so I'll start with Ryan because your birthday is coming up.
Thank you.
Here is your quote. Did your mother have any kids that lived?
I'm looking. I'm going to go with Jason Lives, Friday the 13th, Part 6.
Incorrect.
Am I allowed to guess?
Let's play it that way. So if one of you gets it wrong, it goes to the other person.
One more time with the quote?
Did your mother have any kids that lived?
This is cruel, but is it Stand By Me?
It is.
Okay.
So Kevin gets the point.
That's a really cruel line.
I know. I forget who says it, but I think
it's probably Kiefer Sutherland.
No, he's the one who dies.
No, that's John Cusack.
Oh, shit.
Kiefer Sutherland's the bully with a knife.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Underrated movie.
Okay.
Bullshit. It's not a movie that people talk about anymore.
So, Kevin, your turn. Here's your quote. Oh, right. My friends are all 20 and I'm still 12.
Christ. Transformers the movie.
Incorrect.
I'm going to try Flight of the Navigator.
Correct.
Never saw that movie.
I had hints for these written out in case neither of you could get it. That one, my hint was, features the voice of Paul Rubens.
I didn't know that.
He voices the spaceship.
Oh,
the Navigator.
Okay. The Navigator. He under a nom de plume.
See, I haven't seen that movie, but I knew that through a thing called context clues. Okay, so Ryan's up.
So yeah, Ryan's turn.
All right.
Everything about you is changing. You look bad. You smell bad.
I'm looking at the list. The Fly.
Correct.
I thought it was gonna be Ferris Bueller.
I can hear Matthew. Not Matt.
I heard Rodney Dangerfield's like, everything about you is changing.
Smelling bad.
You look bad. You smell bad.
Oh, you're gonna dive into the plasma pool, the flesh. All right, Kevin, your turn.
Good.
I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
This is a red herring. One more time.
I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
It seems so obvious. Is this one Jason Lives?
It is.
Yeah.
That one's a little more self-aware.
That could have been a few movies on this.
Yeah.
Including Soul Man.
I don't think so. He doesn't wear a mask in that movie.
I haven't seen it. I just know it's a
right?
blackface comedy movie.
It's awful.
Yeah.
Okay. Ryan.
Yes.
The planet... Sorry. Ryan, your quote is, the planet of junk is in this vicinity.
It's Transformers the movie.
Okay, correct.
Which I haven't seen in a long time, but I remember.
I'm glad you got that one.
I'm waiting for one of the quotes to be like,
Yeah.
or
I had two hints.
For I am the great mouse detective.
The hints I had for that one were final role of Scatman Crothers and final role of Orson Welles, if you didn't get it the first time.
And Larry Nimoy's in it too, as Galvatron.
Okay, Kevin, your turn. Grandpa's strict liquid diet keeps him fresh as a rose.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Correct. Have you seen that?
No.
It's something.
Oh, Dennis Hopper and
Yeah.
I pictured those characters. I'm like, that's gonna be that movie.
Okay, Ryan, your turn.
Gotcha.
It is in your nature to do one thing correctly. Tremble.
The Great Mouse Detective?
No. Sorry. No, it would work actually. There is some good, but with
They're mice, they're little.
Yeah. Okay, Kevin.
One more time.
It is in your nature to do one thing correctly. Tremble.
It's gonna be one of two. Howard the Duck.
Incorrect.
Ooh, can I sneak it back?
It's your turn again.
Care Bears movie 2, A New Generation.
Incorrect.
What?
Hints.
Okay, Kevin. You get
No one can get a point at this, right?
remade in 2002.
Oh.
So nope. No, we can't get points now, right?
You can get it.
Remade in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
And it
As Red Dragon.
Manhunter.
Yeah, it was Manhunter.
Yeah. I just watched that movie. I don't remember that one. But okay, so do I get a point or no point?
Yeah, you get the point. You got it eventually. Okay. Final one. This one goes for Ryan.
Okay.
I just can't resist your intense animal magnetism.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Wrong. Sorry, I meant to say that more politely. Wrong. Kevin.
Repeat.
I just can't resist your intense animal magnetism.
Howard the Duck.
Correct.
I was hoping back to school.
No. So, Back to School didn't come out in August, unfortunately.
Yeah, doesn't Rodney Dangerfield ever dream at one point before he actually gets the teacher he wants to be with he's...
Let's just go over this really
Dreams.
quick. Because I feel like people...
You won, by the way.
Nostalgia is a funny thing, but let's be honest.
Okay.
The 80s were a better time for movies.
There
This
was
all
less-
came out in August 1986. Howard the Duck, Jason Lives,
half of them.
Stand By Me, The Fly, Manhunter were all in August.
Aliens was July.
Oh my God.
Kevin won, but I'm going to give you guys the tiebreaker anyway.
89 still the king of the crop for best year for movies, probably. For
I'd say
popcorn movies.
84.
84 is really good.
84.
Okay, well let's debate that after though. Yeah.
Just for fun, the tiebreaker. Whoever guesses the closest wins. Howard the Duck's production budget was $37 million. How much did it gross worldwide?
Worldwide.
Yes.
I'm going to say 18 million.
25.
And you were 18?
Mm-hmm.
Kevin's closer because it actually worldwide grossed $38 million.
Oh,
it barely made its money back. Yeah.
I thought for sure it was going to be a bomb.
It was considered a bomb because it didn't
marketing
make a lot.
costs.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I
anyway.
should rewatch that. I should watch it again.
Yeah?
Yeah, why not?
Howard the Duck?
The ending effects are really creepy.
Yeah, it does have some top-notch.
The Go Motion Phil Tippett stuff with the monster.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really scary looking.
Mm-hmm.
So do we want to do a point counterpoint 89 versus 84? Because
if you want, sure.
At the top of our heads, without like, do you have any dog in this fight, Ryan? Like, honestly,
I always think back to how 2007 between No Country for Old Men, There Will Be Blood.
Okay,
it was just
those
Children of Men was 2006, not the same year, but I mean, were the
those
80s
are good,
a better time?
Movies though. 80s was a better time for kind of good bad movies.
Well, like popcorn movies.
Popcorn
movies were by and large better, and I don't want to say smarter, but I do feel like there's a little more risk out there because metrics weren't surfacing as easily to movie studios, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, I mean, yeah, of course people like Tony I Shrunk the Kids. Like, so 84. What are the 84 has the Terminator,
Ghostbusters.
Yep. Beverly Hills Cop.
Yep. Beverly Hills Cop.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Karate Kid.
Still haven't seen it. I need to see it.
It's good. What else was 84? I'm sure there's a lot of trash too.
You already said Terminator 1.
Yeah.
So,
I think Breakin'.
Okay.
89. I turned off my phone.
89, right? Is Do the Right Thing.
Oh.
Was Die Hard 84?
No, Die Hard was 88.
Okay, sorry. 89 is Batman the movie, which some people like swear by. I'm not a huge fan, but Last Crusade, which is my favorite Indiana Jones movie. Do the Right Thing, I already said.
The Abyss.
Ghostbusters 2, which I'm a fan of. I know some people hate it. There's another big one, UHF. It was like the biggest blockbuster. It was
Back to the Future Part 3?
Maybe.
Or Part 2?
It was... 2 might have been 88.
2 was 89. 3 was 90. I know this.
That's
right. Can we like Google this? Are we allowed to like Google?
Let's just go off the top of our heads.
84, like Terminator and Ghostbusters are two of my favorite movies ever made.
Yeah.
Predator. What year's Predator?
87.
Okay.
Yeah. But I do think that 89, like every week you kind of were going to the theater. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids did come out in 89, which I know some people are huge on.
Roger Rabbit was 88.
What year? What's Little Mermaid? 89?
That was 89. Yeah.
Okay. Well, boom.
Mm-hmm. That's a big one
for popcorn.
Yeah. I think 84 might have had
Black Cauldron.
The Black Cauldron.
Oliver and Company's 86.
Oh, 84's got Police Academy, guys.
Never saw it. Hey, I'm Bobcat Goldthwait.
I'm sure
he's not even in the first one. That's before they got Bobcat.
Roadhouse was 89.
Ooh.
Dead Poets Society.
Okay.
Steel Magnolias. Lethal Weapon 2. Born on the 4th of July.
I love that.
Bill and Ted came out 89.
Pet Cemetery. When Harry Met Sally.
I just saw the house from not the house from the film, but the house where Stephen King got the idea for pets with trucks going by dangerously fast on like a residential back road is up for sale again.
Jeez.
The house that inspired. Real. Yeah, there's a real house in Maine where the inspiration for the idea came from. I don't know if a poor child actually died in front of it. I feel like he'd end up paying them royalties or something.
I got one more big hitter for 89. One of my favorites, Say Anything. My favorite Cameron Crowe movie.
Right.
So I'm looking at 84 now to see what I forgot. Gremlins.
Yep.
Overrated.
The first Gremlins is overrated.
Okay, but we say that as huge fans of Gremlins 2.
Gremlins 2 is a home run.
Gremlins 2 was 1990.
1980.
It's 90. I think it's 90.
Yeah?
Yeah. Temple of Doom. Yeah. Oh, 84 has Amadeus.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Footloose, I haven't seen. Dune.
Damn it, Gremlins 2 is 1990.
Dune. Yep. Red Dawn. Oh, Neverending Story. Which is good.
It is good. Man, the room kind of sucked the life out. I feel like none of it, I just have no strong memories of it.
I never watched the whole movie as a kid.
It has its corny points, but it is so unlike anything that could get made now. It's worth watching just to.
We got to make the Tale of the Glowing Sword. We've got to make that.
Let's make a glowing sword movie.
I have a sword in my trunk right now.
We
Unrelated
have
topic.
a computer.
Well, anyway, Kevin won the game.
Yeah,
sorry.
This was fun.
I think you win 89 too. I'll give it to 89. It's a.
I feel like 84 is more important, but 89 is a real.
More franchises began in 84,
and they're really good. Mm-hmm. Like what Rocky movie came out in 84? Was there a Rocky movie in 84?
I think it maybe skipped 84.
Might have, because Rocky 3 was 83, right?
Yeah. Rocky 4 was 86. They took some time making Rocky 4.
they really. For all the original footage they had to make for that.
Oh my god, there's like 20
movie.
minutes of movie in that.
Rocky 4 is great.
I love Rocky 4.
He defeated the Soviet Union.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He personally
I kind of love that speech at the end, not ironically. Like I kind of dig it. I get what Stallone was doing. Well, I guess we'll move on to a Q&A.
Yes.
That was fun. Ryan, I think next episode you're gonna have to come up with some sort of movie related quiz.
I am thinking about a quiz right now, but I'm gonna keep that to myself.
What if, like, for the quiz, like you gave like 30 seconds of exposition for each question, and then asked tangentially unrelated, like you explain like who wrote Rocky 4, and then you go, Kevin,
what is Eddie Murphy's
where are my keys?
First name?
So okay, for Q&A, we got a lot of questions. We have 60, I want to say. I'm just going to refresh the Patreon page because every month we put up a post a couple days in advance where we ask for people's questions for this month's show. And we have 56 this month. Neil, Ryan, if all of the villains from our videos got into a battle royale, who would win? And this question's from Riley Johnson.
All the villains?
Riley?
All of our villains got into a fight. So for those who don't know our movies, we have bad guys.
Yes.
If you don't know who they are, sorry. My money's on the Misery Meister.
I was thinking Misery Meister.
I was going to say, because the Misery Meister has a gun.
And the Misery Meister can freeze people.
When necessary.
And Ashley Rogers could beat the shit out of us.
We were really just out of our element with the Misery Meister.
Mountain?
We
don't even have a house.
Does Trousar count as a villain?
Yeah.
I mean, he is a malicious.
Yeah.
He is a negative force in the universe.
Yeah.
Max might come. I mean, Max is the only one who we've risen from the dead.
Yeah.
Max was dead.
Yeah.
Max is kind of weak, I think, ultimately. Like, Max gets pushed around.
Max is the juggernaut.
Yeah.
To the Misery Meister's Magneto. Okay, next question.
Well, who am I forgetting, though?
Oh, Mitch Dollarton.
Mm-hmm.
The Pilgrim.
Uh-huh.
Old Man Cooper. The Hipster. Christ.
Our own Hubris.
Mr. Basement.
Mr. Basement.
The Lawn Mowing Man.
Mm-hmm.
Lawn Mowing Man's pretty tough.
The new kids, whatever malevolent force is actually within the haunted house. The ghoul. Let's just call it the ghoul.
The ghoul, yeah. Mm-hmm. That thing's pretty creepy. It's got tentacles for a face.
The Sega from Nintendo.
Yeah. What about Ryan? I always thought Ryan was the antagonist in Conch.
Yeah, also has a gun.
I don't know if
you're willing to give it up.
Yeah.
Misery Meister would never give up the gun.
Yeah.
Misery Meister really had us over the barrel.
Ashley, if you're listening out there, thank you.
No offense to the other villains, but Ashley just nailed that performance too. We were up to like 4 a.m. one night shooting. Okay, next question. Let's move a little bit quicker on these. Kirsten Stackhouse asks, real question. As creative people, have you ever dealt with suddenly feeling not very creative? How do you push past that and get motivated again? Ryan, do you want to go first?
Oh, yeah. Do I have literally writer's block, photography? Do I get that writer's block feeling when taking photos, when script writing, when coming up with ideas? All the time. Yeah. Sometimes for like weeks, actually. My best strategy for alleviating the symptoms of writer's block in whatever creative field, I get my best ideas when I'm driving. I don't know why. That's just some people it's shower. Some people it's when they go out running or jogging. Yeah. Some people it's they go to a cabin in the woods. Whatever is your thing.
Do you like to drive with music or like vocal free music? Like,
almost always the radio. I rarely use my phone or even my CD player.
Sure.
It's usually the radio. It's usually NPR.
Sure.
I get my best ideas driving and definitely better ideas at night than in the day.
There's definitely some psychology behind that. I don't know what it is, but I know it exists. For me, my main advantage is I have all sorts of different projects I could work on. I could work on a Twitter bot, or I could work on coding my game or doing graphics, or I could work on music if I'm feeling stuck on any one thing. Sometimes nothing works and I'm just not in a creative mood in general. But usually what works best for me, if it's something I have to do, it's being right up against the deadline. Suddenly I'm able to do it and get it done that night.
It's a good thing with the Patreon is we have like a kind of like a inflicted. We have kind of our monthly deadline now, and we don't
self-imposed.
We still and we still don't charge by the month. I just think we like the idea of a monthly clip.
Yes.
Yeah, we're proving to ourselves that we can put out stuff,
and we don't want to fall behind. We don't.
I think for me, when I get like a wall, I have like a list of short script ideas I keep on a Google task list and in a notebook, and sometimes I'm like, we'll have the tools at hand, we'll have the free time. To quote Winston Zedmore, we have the tools, we have the talent, but we don't have maybe a home run idea. Something like, let's say, the Lawn Mowing Man. It's an idea we've had, I'm like, okay, well, I'll throw it out there, even if it's not the best idea to you guys. And by virtue of having our collaborative process there, even if something's not the best idea, I feel like when I present an inferior idea or inferior plot,
something you're not sure is going to be the greatest thing.
You guys are very constructive and be like, oh, this would make it better, actually. And it's sometimes like, it goes both ways. Like, there'll be pushback. Like, someone will propose an idea. It's like, okay, well, that's kind of funny, but wouldn't it be funnier if this happened? We can turn almost any mediocre idea into a good idea or a great idea by virtue of just the three of us pooling our mental resource, our facilities.
For certain like constructive points in a project, having people to bounce off of
really helps. It can turn it just elevates things. And that's worked for me. We've made ideas that aren't exactly the greatest ideas in the world, but sometimes it's just a good excuse to experiment. And I feel like when I'm doing physical labor, like if I'm like helping people move or something, that's when my brain can tune out and I can find new ideas. But I guess my answer to this question is, so we can move on, is even if I don't like an idea, I'd like to throw it out there in front of the two of you to hear your feedback and build from there. Because even if it's like a simple or something I'm not crazy about, a very simple boilerplate topic or whatever, the constructive nature of our collaboration comes out, and suddenly, hey, this idea about Frosty the Snowman having human eyeballs isn't half bad because it'll have a song in it. Okay, so let's move on. Good
question.
Yeah, really good question. I had a really good one coming up. Okay. From Ryan Carroll. If you could choose any movie to be remade as a 3-camera sitcom, which movie would that be and why?
There Will Be Blood.
It's a 3-camera sitcom?
Absolutely. Yes. Daniel Plainview is trying to find oil, and every day that sneaky little Eli comes in, it's basically horsing around. For those of you who watch BoJack
Does
Horseman.
The audience applaud whenever Eli shows up?
Yep. And Eli has a catch. He has that's too much, man. He has something Eli. He says. And when and
what about the bandy tract?
I'm going to put these brownies I just cooked on the table for when my boss comes over tonight.
HW is there, and every once in a while just puts his hands up, and they always kind of zoom in on him, and they laugh because he's deaf because of his father's monstrous actions. Oh. And they make a joke of it.
I can kind of see it as like a Dennis the Menace era sitcom too.
But who's Dennis? HW?
Well, not Dennis the Menace, but I mean like a black and white, like Andy of Mayberry kind of
sure.
Old show.
What about
I can really see it.
I when I read this question last night, I thought of Videodrome.
Oh my god.
Really?
Maybe it's because I'm staring at a poster for it right now, but I feel like Rocky could become a sitcom like a little too easily.
Paulie and it's
Paulie and Mickey are you're right.
Totally. So he owns the restaurant now. Everyone's always making the like, hey Rocky, when are you gonna get back in the ring? Like, oh, when pigs fly, and then like someone throws a pig or something.
Yeah.
The audience laughs. I don't know.
A lot of Italian racial stereotype.
Paulie's got a date tonight. Like, I don't know.
What magazine, Sears?
Mickey's afraid of heights. I don't know. We'll figure out something.
Michael Keeganrad Corliss asks, how do you guys figure out which roles you'll play? Do any of you guys have a fight in order to decide who's going to play which character? I think what typically happens is
it's pretty organic the way we divvy out roles.
Once in a while, we'll say, "Hey, I want to play against type." Like I wanted to be the lawn mowing man. Once we realized a few people fell through that were going to come by that day, I said, "Okay, well, I'll be the lawn mowing man because I never played a bad guy, and I'm going to have to be tracing somebody for a couple days for this effect for the rotoscoping. It might as well be my face. I can make myself look skinnier." But I do think typically we try to play to each other's strengths. I think I do. There have been times when two of us will talk in secret and be like, okay, so for the World Wide Web, one of us has to rap. I think we got to make Ryan. Let's make Ryan rap. And then I remember when you said, "Oh, so Ryan, we figured you'd rap," and you go, "Oh, why me?" Like,
because you weren't there when we made the decision.
It's true. I forgot that.
But have you guys ever had a role you really wanted to do, or have we ever had a script you got? Like, I know with the Money Tree.
Yeah, we had some back and forth over who should be the kind of protagonist in that one.
Yeah,
that's happened a couple times. Sometimes when one of us just decides to go ahead and write a script, we'll sort of arbitrarily assign the roles.
Or like,
and it's like nothing personal. It's
we haven't had a Ryan episode in a while, so Ryan will become the superhero. Yeah. So, and I do think more often than not, I prefer to play straight man characters, not because I think I'm very normal, but I don't have a ton of confidence in my acting ability. And I think I'm best utilized in that regard. I think I can be a good victim or like just someone who's confused by circumstances or an older brother type. So usually that's what I'll do in our scripts. But with Ryan, it feels like,
I love cartoons. I love being cartoon. Yeah. A guy like this guy's got tooth black. This guy's got one leg. This guy is like, is something's. You just look at him like, something's not right there.
Yeah. We can play up audience expectations with you too if they've seen you in other videos. Like, okay, well, Ryan's might be evil. This one. You wouldn't be surprised if it goes that way.
Yeah, someone actually recently. Do you know who made it?
I don't have the name.
Well, somebody posted to us recently. They noticed like Ryan has played alignment.
A lot of the spectrum.
Yeah, Ryan has played the whole spectrum of the D&D alignment. So they like took all your different characters and assigned, chaotic.
And they really worked. Thank you, whomever out there.
Yeah,
I know we gave credit to the artist that did that. Thank you. I just read it this morning. I don't know your name yet, and my phone is off. So
it's on the Facebook somewhere.
Thank you.
Kyle Long asks, will there be another 90s related quiz in the next podcast? Yes. A few people asked about the making of Everybody's Pants Now. We're going to be putting out a dedicated postmortem podcast for that around the same time.
That may have already come out.
It'll be about 10 minutes. So like any questions about the making of that particular movie have been covered.
I think we nailed it for anything of relevance. So I think we're
good. Golden Totem asks, would you ever consider having anyone else in the podcast, like content creators, actors, or friends? Or do you think it'll stay confined to the three of us?
Oh, I'd be happy to have guests. Definitely.
Step up. I don't know.
John Niendick. Sorry, John. Kevin, what is your favorite virtual reality game? If I had to pick my favorite VR game right now, it'd probably be Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7, you guys can attest to how excited I was about that. Resident Evil 7, I couldn't believe I was getting it so quickly after VR kind of hit the mainstream price point. I couldn't believe it. That was my Mario 64 moment, where Mario 64 was to 3D graphics. Resident Evil 7 in VR, I can't believe the whole game is playable through that. I'm a big Resident Evil fan, particularly the first three, and Code Veronica. But like the old lockdown camera, more of an exploratory puzzle game, not an action game. If not Resident Evil 7, I'd probably say...
What's that great one that's mostly white backgrounds where you're like a Jason Statham? It's
Super Hot.
That's it.
Super Hot VR.
Which we might play today.
Super Hot VR is amazing. Job Simulator is really good.
Job Simulator is great.
I love
my favorite that I've only played VR on your set so far, Kevin. Keep Talking and No One Dies.
Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes.
Nobody Explodes.
That's fun.
That's a really good party game. There's a lot of good stuff, but I think Resident Evil 7 so far to me is the high watermark. So, Johnny Robinson asks, if you had to choose between only seeing movies in IMAX or to drive in theater for the rest of your lives, which would you choose?
Good question.
That's tough.
I'll start. I've actually never been to the drive-in, at least not since I can remember. Maybe when I was a baby.
It's fun. It is fun.
There aren't many left. I just haven't made my way to a drive-in. So I will just go with what I know and just say IMAX.
I'm going to go with IMAX too. I'm not going to say I don't dislike drive-ins. They're a novelty. I'm not crazy about them. I know some people are devout. For one, sometimes it rains. Okay, sometimes it's really cold out. Today, like, would I want to go to a drive-in movie right now? No, it's really hot out right now. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to come out and say drive-ins are overrated. That's the second time I have not said drive-ins are overrated. But yeah, I'm going to go with IMAX.
I really like the drive-in. I like the double feature. Car seats are often underappreciated for how comfortable they are.
Yeah.
My sound system in my car is good, and I don't even have a real sound system. Just cars tend to have good sound systems. And a good sound system can make or break a movie. Also, people in 2017 talk more in the movie theater. I've been to.
Yeah.
Well, cell phones and such. With that being said, I guess I really like a regular movie theater. So I guess I'd lean IMAX in that respect because it's evergreen, it's year round.
This is a tough one. This is a good question.
It's tough. I guess if you put a gun to my head, I'd say IMAX because it's safer.
Yeah.
But
the question doesn't say like, do I have to drive down to the Cape or whatever anytime I want to see a movie?
And what about
is that where the closest drive-in?
And all the best movies come out in the winter now, like or when it's cold out, right? It was like what drive-in movie theaters open when Logan came out in March or whatever. Like, yeah.
Wellfleet is there's one. Yeah, there is still an active one in Wellfleet, but that is out there on Cape Cod.
What if a tornado comes through, like in the movie Twister?
You wouldn't know until it was too late.
It's true.
Next question is. Pushing Up Roses asks, as per your statement in the campaign video for Guaranteed Video, you expressed a lack of interest in comedy skits on YouTube and them not being the, quote, soup du jour. When did you start noticing YouTube gravitating to other forms of videos? And what kind of things do you think can make comedy skits fresh and evolving with what people want in terms of entertainment? All right, that was a long question, but I think it gave you...
It's a good one.
So I think it's... so Neil, you exploded on YouTube in like 05, 06, around then.
I don't know. I forget the exact date. But yeah.
Even around then, can we name names?
Might as well.
Sure.
There were a lot of Shane Dawsons popping up.
Yeah.
And
even Shane Dawson, I will say, does skits.
But they're just him at his desk.
Oh yeah, they're terrible. But but I mean, like, he is of our era where YouTube was something where you made
content.
Yeah,
you weren't just reacting.
You made a low budget TV show or sitcom or
like Channel 101
or sketch comedy. Yeah,
yeah. We didn't make as much stuff for a while because we were working on other stuff like finishing school or whatever, or getting married or whatever. And even then, I think what people might have perceived as us not making as much might have just been Computer Fighters taking 8 months.
Yeah,
that might as well have been a year, right? Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of people have realized that it's almost a fool's errand to put in as much time as we do to the comedy skits if you're trying to make money off of it. Like this Patreon is helping, making it feel a little less foolish.
Yeah. And I want to say that we don't inherently think that sketch comedy is better than reviews or stuff like that. But
the ratio is really tipped now.
The ratio is really tipped.
It's like 40-1 now on YouTube, like people reacting to other people's work and regurgitating it in a way. Whereas I think a lot of filmmakers have realized, like, well, I'm not getting anything out of this other than exposure. If it's popular on YouTube, right? But sometimes it works. Like the guy who did Lights Out, Pony Smasher.
Yeah,
you got 2 feature films out of that because it blew up overnight. Like, oh, you can actually make a scary movie. Most people can't.
Yeah,
let's give you 2.
We've talked about since starting Guaranteed Video that pop culture ambulance chasing is what we don't want to do.
Yeah, and it's one thing if you're gonna ambulance chase and make something like a response, like a statement, like your Pokemon rap, right? It was very much a you thing, and it fit the format you had gone for with your Star Trek one and your Star Wars one, your Lord of the Rings one.
But it was absolutely inspired by a trend.
But there were people, when we announced Guaranteed Video and Guaranteed Audio, there were quite a few people going like, oh, for the love of God, don't just do a podcast. Please don't just post a video. People thought we were going to do a video podcast. And there's nothing wrong with those. I love, like I said, I'm a big Giant Bomb fan. I like double toasted. I like that type of content. But it is a shame that original comedy skits just don't surface the way they used to with like Waverly Films or whatever. We loved Waverly. Waverly was like our bread and butter.
Or like Lonely Island or
sure.
Yeah, like a lot of
Before Rick and Morty, I used to watch Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon back in 05, 06 on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
I showed you guys like Cautionary Tales of Swords.
Yeah, all that great Channel 101 stuff.
Laser Fart.
I think all the people who saw YouTube as a platform for that kind of material got into the industry, or didn't, like us. And,
stopped giving it away for free.
They stopped giving it away for free. And the second generation of YouTube didn't see it as a new frontier the way the first generation did.
Yeah.
It was just YouTube, which is already its own thing. So I think it was inevitably going to be a little more self-reflexive and less of a
channel for pre-existing types of content to be exposed through.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. I mean, we've definitely lost a certain amount of content by virtue of people growing up with YouTube as a channel and thinking, oh, I want to make my vlogs too.
Yeah.
Rather than, oh, I want to make movies. Oh, I guess I can put them on the internet now. Also, the way people, smartphones weren't a thing when YouTube took off. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
And people would sit down and be sitting at their desktops ready to digest something. And now it's like, Computer Fighter, it's 20 minutes. I'm not going to watch that. Right? Mm-hmm. I mean, as if there's no other problems with that video. But you know what I'm saying. So like now, there are people out there who, the biggest successes on YouTube in terms of original comedy work or narrative work are making just 20-second videos like once a day, like new thing. Yeah. It's just them in a dorm room or an apartment with their cell phone, like doing it. And that's fine. At least they're making something. At least they're making new material, new jokes.
In terms of what we can do to make YouTube more original content focused, I don't know. I mean,
pay for YouTube Red.
Yeah, actually, I imagine
I'm a proponent of YouTube Red.
Yeah, I haven't really watched any YouTube Red exclusive content.
But it's not great, but it's a start. It's a start.
It's a start, yeah. Other than that, I don't know. I think Vine was the closest thing we got to a new format that encouraged.
Oh, but it's so reductive though.
It is, but the format,
seconds, right?
It was 6 seconds with Vine.
Ooh.
But it forced people to tell a story concisely, and there was a ton of filmmaking on Vine.
Yeah.
It was often very low rent, but it was often very creative.
Yeah. Every October, I love sitting down on YouTube and just looking up horror shorts. And like you'll usually find 2 good ones that came out that year, but they're totally worth it. But I think by virtue of it seeming a little harder to make money, by virtue of ad blockers and things like that, and there's more competition than ever on YouTube, what's the easiest thing I can make? Me sitting at my computer talking about the thing that you were originally looking for.
Yep.
That's that. Yeah. And there's nothing bad about that. Hell, you're listening to a podcast right now.
Yeah. In fact, I want to say the person who asked this question, Pushing Up Roses, is a YouTube gamer.
Yeah.
Let's player. No, she actually puts a lot of work into her videos. I've watched a bunch of them.
What's she into?
She does a lot of like old PC games, so of course. I'm super into it. But
like Tim Schafer stuff, like
like adventure games and stuff. I've encountered her videos, I think, from just looking up those games, exactly like we were talking about. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love watching reviews of games, sometimes more than just watching just like basic playthroughs.
It's just how it's fizzling out, though. You have to have a little more passion in 2017 than you did in 2006.
You do, and there are
you have to be a little more foolish.
There are people who like earn their money with that stuff, and I don't.
I'm talking about making short films. I'm talking about like narrative based stuff, like what we do. You have to be a little more crazy these days than you did a decade ago.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, like we don't want to like come off as like, oh, our original content is much better than reaction videos and reviews and stuff. No, it's just what we like doing, and and the Patreon helps us feel like, oh, we can still get away with that.
Yeah, even if a video doesn't do super well. Like I bring up the Lawn Mowing Man a bunch because like I still think it's funny as shit. I thought it was a funny idea. I loved the effects, and I think you guys are really good in it. Ryan saying the Bible verse is like one of my favorite moments in anything we've made. Like when he starts the Bible verse off, and Neil goes, "Oh, the Bible!" Like,
so you're proud of it.
Yeah, but like in the fact that people didn't immediately drop our Patreon in the wake of that video says, okay, there are people out there who like watching this stuff. So as you've pointed out, Neil, it doesn't have to be a viral hit for us to feel comfortable making it. Like our next video, The Magic Wish, probably isn't going to be as popular as Everybody's Pants Now, but whatever, like it's going to be what we promised, an original short film, you know?
Yeah. And the whole point of the Patreon is even if a video caps out at 30,000 hits, which is not enough to make any money at all from ads, within that 30,000, there are enough people who are willing to directly support us to make that video, a little bit profitable, or at least to cover the expenses.
Yeah.
So we don't feel like we're, spinning our wheels making it.
Let's move on. Let's do a fella named Chris Witten asked a lot of questions. So let's pick 2 of his questions. Ryan, what's your favorite sound effect?
The Wilhelm scream.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We have a comedy skit we've been meaning to make about the Wilhelm scream for about 10 years. Remember that? Do you want the whole scream?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Chris had a bunch of questions. Chris also asks, what band or artist do you recommend to anybody? What music are you currently enjoying?
Ryan?
Right now I'm listening. Actually, the last thing I downloaded, the album I've been listening to this week is Fading Frontier by Deer Hunter.
Deer Hunter.
I like Deer Hunter a lot. Yep. Fading Frontier is this week. Last week I was listening to Talking Heads. Week before that, Father John Misty, Pure Comedy. And the week before that was Daniel Rawson's stuff with Department of Eagles. That is my last month or so.
What kind
I would
of
recommend all of them, actually.
Same style of music?
No, all very different.
Yeah? A lot of country?
No. What? What? Oh, fuck no. If I had to make a short list to recommend to people, let's say Try of Montreal. People every time I say of Montreal, people go, "Oh fuck yeah, I haven't listened to them in forever."
I associate them with you heavily.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Father John Misty. Does he have his head up his own ass a bit? He knows he's pretentious. Yes, he knows. Is he very popular right now? Yes. But he's self-aware. I don't think he's full of shit. I've watched interviews of him. I watched him talk about his own work. I like him. And I think he's very hesitant to. People call it like, you're the next Bob Dylan. Like, don't do that. Don't do that to me. I'm not. And he'll just be the first to say, I'm not.
Yeah. Neil, what about you? Aerosmith? Are you more of a Steven Tyler solo guy or an Aerosmith guy? I'm going to box you into talking about how much you love Aerosmith.
Yeah, why not?
They're okay.
I recommend Aerosmith because really just listen to the hits, and they're hits for a reason, folks.
Yeah, they're like Tom Petty. They have a lot of songs. I mean, Tom Petty's better.
They're Boston guys too. They, like a lot of New Englanders, refer to Boston and the Grace. Nobody gives a shit what town outside of Boston you're from. When you meet anyone outside of Massachusetts,
Marshfield.
I'm just from Boston. Yeah, good enough. That's just good enough. Paint with broad strokes.
For real, are you listening to anybody right now?
I haven't been listening to a lot of music lately. I think the last like thing I went through was, I'm a huge fan of Jeff Lynne and Electric Light Orchestra.
Yeah.
And I found a playlist on Spotify which was songs that he produced.
All Tom Petty.
Yeah, he produced all of those huge Tom Petty songs.
He
like
co-wrote a lot of them for that. I'm finding that out recently. I have a lot of friends who are in bands in Brooklyn, and they think that Lynne ruined Tom Petty. I don't get it. I love what Lynn did with Tom Petty. Don't come around here no more. I love that song.
Yeah, I guess if you were around for early Tom Petty. But he also had his hands in all the Roy Orbison, resurgent stuff. And obviously the Traveling Wilburys. But the solo Roy Orbison stuff is very much in Jeff Lynne's wheelhouse. 5 years before he did that stuff, there was a track on one of the Electric Light Orchestra songs that was supposed to be a Roy Orbison sound-alike. It was kind of his tribute. It's called Endless Lies. It's awesome.
It's like his Hungry Heart kind of thing.
It's like his big tribute to Roy Orbison. And then a couple years later, he befriended Roy Orbison, I guess, and encouraged him to get back into music. And
Orbison went out with a bang, man. Those last 5 years.
I was reading. Have you ever read how he died?
No.
His final day.
I do have his final concert on Blu-ray.
That's the
he was at the
Well, that might not be his final. I should check, but that was his big send off where Tom Waits and Costello, Katie Lang and Springsteen come out. Yeah.
Anyway, his last day alive was just really sweet. He was playing remote controlled airplanes with his kid or something, and then he went and had dinner with his family, and then that night he passed away in his sleep. And he was just at the height of his career or something.
Yeah, his last 2 singles were huge.
Mm-hmm.
But Jeff Lynne though, Jeff Lynne's a safe bet.
Oh yeah, totally. Well, no,
didn't the Beatles once say that if they stuck together?
John Lennon said in an interview, I think with Dick Cavett or something like that from the 70s of what do you think would have happened if the Beatles had made one more album after Let It Be? So he said we'd just sound like the Electric Light Orchestra.
I totally get it.
Yeah, we'd be in the studio. We wouldn't tour it. We'd be really synth heavy because we experiment. Whatever's the new hot thing, we totally do that.
We'd do something very pleasing. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had it probably would have sounded like, it would have sounded like the Electric Light Orchestra.
For me, I'm really, the last couple of years, I've been really into synthwave stuff. If I could recommend a song, if you're listening right now and you're looking for a recommendation for a song, I've been listening to this damn song for like a year and a half, at least like 3-4 times a week. It's by a band called The Midnight. The song is called Sunset. Look that song up, and I assure you, you will enjoy that song. Sunset by The Midnight.
Piggybacking on a point we brought up before about the writer's block question.
Yeah.
For me, it's driving. It's at night. With synthwave is the perfect music.
Time Cop 1983, FM 84
for driving at night.
That stuff. Anorak is really good. College is really good. The Midnight is probably my favorite of that scene. Mm-hmm. They're a little more rock and roll. There's also a guy named Ollie Ride. If you can find him, he does vocals for a few of these synth rock bands. And he has, if you can find live performances of that guy is a riot. Running in the Night. Ooh, Let's Talk by FM 84 is another good one. But basically, that's if you were looking for something fresh to listen to.
I've heard all of these a million times in your car.
They're great, right?
They are great.
Yeah, no,
they're really awesome. Good. But Sunset, it's like almost every time we're in the car, it's like, hey, let's put on Sunset. It's like that was me with Born to Run, for my teens and 20s. Like I just had to hear it like a couple times a week to survive. But yeah, like The Midnight, they're putting out a new album in October. They've got a bunch, almost all of their songs are fantastic. I can't recommend them enough.
Is it October?
Yeah, cool. They just announced. Time Cop 1983 is pretty good too, as far as like the per capita quality of their songs. Look them up too. They're great. They just put out an EP, Lovers Part 2. They have a song in it called Falling Apart. I love that one. I'll probably put that on the car whenever we go eat after this. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so one more time. Sunset by The Midnight. I don't know how these guys aren't more popular. That song is so good. Connor Muldoon asks, how did Daxter Flaxter gain his radical powers?
All right, Neil.
Well,
if you don't know who Daxter Flaxter is, please watch Computer Fighters.
Oh, yeah. So in Computer Fighters, if you look closely at the... is it Kid Vid or Vid Kid?
You made the magazine.
I know. I made the magazine. Kid. It's Vid Kid. Kid Vid is the Burger King Kids Club character.
That's right.
Vid Kid... in the magazine there is like a little blurb on Daxter Flaxter.
How Michael Jackson likes him.
And how
is Dance the Flex.
Yeah, so there's all these little trivia bits on him, and one of them mentions that he hasn't been seen ever since he got caught in a freak electrical storm in an arcade, I think in Las Vegas. So it's kind of implied there that he got zapped into a cloud or something in an arcade and became this kind of video game god.
Yeah, I think he has some sort of Stephen King-esque relationship to Satan.
Yeah,
I think there was some sort of, he was about to die and he like sold his soul, akin to Kratos in God of War, to Ares. Like, please let me be better at video games. Don't let me die. I'm not done yet. And he that's
like the
my headcanon.
Daniel Johnson American myth of At the Crossroads.
Yeah.
Like to become the greatest guitar player, he sold his soul.
Yeah.
Maybe he did that, and the freak electrical storm was Satan coming to claim him.
Yeah.
But I think he either paid off his debt or escaped somehow, and that's how he was able to help us, the new kids on the block.
He beat the devil at an arcade, like that stupid Golden Fiddle song.
Would it be cool to watch Spawn fight Daxter Flaxter?
Yeah.
It'd be cool if somebody just did Spawn right.
Picture?
Just once.
Oh man, if someone out there wants to make me a happy man, the fan film where Spawn and Daxter Flaxter.
Or even just fan art, guys. Even one still image of Daxter.
Yeah, if you're listening out there.
Daxter would kick Spawn's ass.
Someone draw Daxter Flaxter's fighting Spawn. It doesn't matter how bad it is. Just send us it, please.
So a few people have suggested that we ask the audience a question, and we can react to those answers in the next episode.
Okay.
A real base, we haven't talked about this, a real base open-ended question is, what kind of videos do you want to see us make? Because we have honestly a dozen ideas we've talked about doing. We talked about.
I would love if somebody just say, I want a movie about how Katy Perry's left shark uses fidget spinners.
Yes.
And Wonder Woman and Spider-Man are on the Planet of the Apes. Like whatever just came out.
What's Spider-Man going to do on the Planet of the Apes? Wonder Woman would be fine. But like, we have like all these ideas at any given moment. We're always trying to decide. Like we have like a few ideas we've talked about lately have been boiled chicken hut.
Let's not spoil anything.
I know, but like the titles are like, but we have like a bunch. We always, and we're always just kind of like, well, who's available this month? Is the weather right for it? Did we just get a new piece of camera equipment that would make that fun to experiment with? So the question will be, what kind of videos do you want to see out of us? Do you want more music-based stuff? Do you want more episodes of New Kids on the Rock? Like, do you want more like special effects intensive stuff, which I love doing. I love doing like, here's one crazy effect and we do a whole video around it. Mm-hmm. But YouTube comments for this one. This will be available on YouTube. Leave the comments right there. Okay. And we'll read them and we'll...
this will be on the Guaranteed Video YouTube.
Yes. Just like the last episode. We're going to try and get an MP3 one up on some feed soon. So hopefully by this one.
Okay. Got a question? Because
let's just have the one question.
Okay.
Let's not overcomplicate
what kind of videos
things.
You want to?
Cool. Well, that was the sophomore episode of Guaranteed Audio. Thanks for sticking with us. And we will see you next time. And by the next time you hear us, you will hopefully have seen a new movie of ours.
Yes. Thank you again for being patrons. Thank you for helping. And until next time.
And God bless.
That can't be our sign off.